In this video, I'm going to give you some quick tips that I hope will convince you of the importance of practicing slow. Before we jump in, I just want to take a minute to remind you to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified, and share this video if there's anybody you think might be interested in it. And I know like every YouTube video ever says to do this, but it really does mean a lot, especially when I see like the likes and the comments. Even if it's a little comment, it really like truly makes my day. So I appreciate you doing that, and without further ado, let's get into the slow practice. Of course, ever since I've been practicing seriously, I've been a huge fan of slow practicing, but funny enough, I heard a great saying on a video just recently, and it was a video about video games and talking about like aiming in video games, but the saying was, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. It was by Jane on an Overwatch video, if you're interested in the original source, just to give credit where the credit is due, but it was such a good saying and totally applies to playing the clarinet. So let's break it down a little bit. When you're practicing, your brain actually has to do a lot of really fast processing. Obviously, if you're playing a fast piece, you have to like get the fingers down and play the right notes and rhythms in time. But even if you're doing a slow piece, your brain is really thinking through all of these fine details, figuring out very quickly what it needs to do to make a legato connection between things, making sure that it's getting the right shape to the phrases and all of the dynamics of the articulations and all of that stuff. There's a lot of processing that happens when we're playing music. Now I know, especially if you've seen my video on how to effectively use the metronome, then you know that slow practicing is important and necessary for really fast passages, but slow practicing is actually always important. No matter how technically demanding your piece of music you may be working on is, if you practice it slowly, you'll hear so many more details. You can play through a passage like at full tempo, especially if it's fast music, and it just sort of goes by and you're like, yeah, I think I more or less played it. Like maybe it was a little uncomfortable, I was a little tense at times, but like I played the right notes and rhythms. But if you recorded that and then slowed it down, you'd be like, oh my goodness, so many things weren't even, so many things didn't come out with a great sound, etc., etc. And by slowing down our practicing, it's just like slowing down that recording and gives our brain the time to process through it and really work through it. When you're going slow, you can see the tricky note coming and be prepared for it. You can know exactly what it's going to take to get a legato connection between these notes. You can see the articulation and make sure that you're prepared for that. You know what the phrasing is. You can see that crescendo coming and make sure that you start soft so you have room to grow, rather than in hindsight being like, oh, I probably should have gotten softer so I could have some room to crescendo there. And the super cool thing is that when we're going slow, it gives our brain time to process all of those little details, and it's super easy to go faster. It's very hard to go fast and like get those details in there when you're going full speed, but if you go slow, get all the details, make it really smooth, make it natural, make it steady and comfortable with all of the details in there at the slow tempo, then it's just a matter of gradually speeding up, which doesn't really take that long. You'll probably spend maybe 30 minutes on a difficult passage going slow and speeding it up, and then you'll be done and have all of the details in there. Or you could spend 30 minutes just practicing it fast over and over and over and over and over, and it might improve a tiny bit, but it's still gonna feel uncomfortable, and it's still going to be missing probably a lot of the important details. So it's much more efficient use of your time, even though it may not always feel like it, but always go slow enough that your brain is super comfortable to process where your fingers are going, all of the musical details, and be able to play the right notes smoothly and steadily. Seriously, I could probably talk all day about the importance of slow practice and the different methods of it. And if you want to see another video with some more tips and tricks and maybe going a little bit more in depth with how to slow practice, let me know in the comments below. But that's it for this video. I hope that's helpful, and I hope you really try some slow practicing. Open things up, give your brain that time to process, and thank you so much for watching this. Again, if you liked it, share it with somebody, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, like it, comment, do all of that stuff. It really means a lot to me. But thank you so much for watching. Happy practicing, and I will see you in another video.